Mountain View Volleyball is live only on mylocalradio.com. Buffs Volleyball is in session for another action-packed fall season. Carrying you straight through the year and into the state tournament in November, mylocalradio.com is here to bring you live video coverage of Mountain View sports. With the opening serve quickly approaching, let's join Jake Hibbard, voice of the Buffaloes, in the MyLocal Radio broadcast booth for pregame coverage.
Well, we made it over, and we're ready for the third place match, Mountain View versus Lander. And Lander, the home team, they nearly took off Pinedale yesterday as they went up 2-0 over Pinedale before losing in 5. The home team certainly experiencing some sort of home field advantage, home court advantage, as they will take on the Mountain View Buffs, fresh off a win over Lutman in 5 sets. Lander took care of Powell in 3, so they've had a little while to freshen up, get ready to go again. We'll come back with the very short Big Country Properties pregame show next with that starting lineup when we return on a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on mylocalradio.com.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Members of Trona Valley Federal Credit Union feel confident that our staff has your best interest in mind, confident that we acknowledge your financial needs, confident that we are always working hard to provide the best rates, best products, and the best service the industry can offer, and confident that we will always work with you to help achieve your financial goals. Join Trona Valley Federal Credit Union today. TronaValley.com, member NCUA.
Business cards are a powerful and inexpensive way to promote the goods and services you offer. You can design your own cards or have the professionals at Weststar Printing design your business cards. Now with same-day and next-day turnaround on all business card printing, you don't have to wait. Get your business cards today. Professional quality, inexpensive prices, and quick turnaround. Visit Weststar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston, across from the library. Weststar Printing, 307-789-5202.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
We had a very short Big Country Properties pregame show as we're getting the starting lineups right now. Let's give you what we have for the Lander Valley Taggers in this third place regional matchup. Abby Renner and Demi Stauffenberg are your two outside hitters. Stauffenberg a sophomore, Renner a senior. Savannah West and Emma Getz, your middle blockers. West a senior, Getz a sophomore. Emma Crane, Haley Lytle, right sides, and Lytle sets as well. Jaden Rowan, a setter in the 6-2 formation. Whitney Hansen, the libero, and DS Layla Norse may or may not see time throughout. Now let's get your Mountain View starters before the beginning of this contest.
Haley Stevens, outside senior.
Kylie Dillinger, middle, junior.
Ashley Timms, right side, freshman.
Cortland Condis, DS, senior.
Allie Rinker, outside, junior.
Casey Bugis, libero, sophomore.
Camry Hutchings, setter, sophomore.
Emily Bugis, DS, sophomore.
Caitlin Timms, serving specialist, senior.
Olivia Meeks, middle, sophomore.
Well, we got a loud gymnasium here, as you would expect. The home team playing right now. The championship match will come up right after this contest at scheduled time, 3 p.m. as Pinedale and Worland, the number 1 teams from the Northwest and Southwest, have made their way through and will play for the championship crown. The number 2 seed Mountain View And number 2 seeded Lander Valley Tigers, they made it through as well, playing for 3rd and 4th places. We welcome you in to a final contest of regionals that we will be broadcasting you. We just saw Mountain View and Lyman. Would have loved to spend a little bit more time on the season that was for Lyman, as they have been eliminated and their season is over. The fact was we just did not have time. Had to get over here, barely got set up in time as it was. So congratulations to Lyman. They finish off the regular season winning 6 of their last 7. End up coming up just a little bit shy in 5 sets to an Uinta County team, Mountain View, which is now qualified for state, and the team we're covering in this contest. Mountain View gets the opening serve of it, and they are on the team. They're the team on the right side of the net, and it's Allie Rinker with it over. And it's Stauffenberg on the first touch, Rowan to the outside. It's a way off set for Abby Renner, who has to back up and try to make a play on it, and she's not able to. It's out of bounds. That setup by Rowan was, I think Renner was setting up to the middle of the court, and an ace by Rinker to start off set number 1, 2-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Again, we'll have that electronic scoreboard for you, updating throughout the contest. So we've got Allie Rinker serving for a 2-0 lead. Stauffenberg with the first touch. Rowan again. Renner, this is a much better one, but it's blocked down. In dig out of the net. Renner bumps it over to the middle. It's Casey Bugas to Camry Hutchings. And then the outside attack. Stevens tied on the net, over the line, and down for the point over the block of Jaden Rowan. 3-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Haley Stevens had quite the set just a little bit ago. 17 kills, 3 blocks, and 3 assists. Rowan sets up to the outside again, going to the heavy outside. Renner blocked out of bounds. Hutchings could not keep it in. And it's 3-1, the first point of the day for the homestanding Lander Tigers. Kill for Abby Renner, the senior. Jaden Rowan goes back to serve. Saw Mountain View and Lander play a few weeks ago at the conference duels. Mountain View won that one in 4 sets. Set from Hutchings to the outside at Stevens, pushing it over the block. Rowan goes down to the ground at the 10-foot line to pick it up, and a back set push just over. Lytle on that save over. To the outside at Stevens again. She's blocked, and give the credit of the block there to Emma Crane. And her first block of the day makes it 3-2 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Serve over for Lander to the outside, wind up by Meeks, little under the ball there, and point to Lander. Makes it 3-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. May have to reset that board here just over a break, because sometimes it gets a little screwy when you close the computer and open it back up. Jaden Rowan serving for Lander on the left side of the net. White jerseys, black pants, black shorts for Lander. Outside to Stevens. Purple shorts for Mountain View. Returned over the net, set from Meeks, and a dump over Hutchings. In the back line, Stauffenberg got it to Renner, and off the block of Olivia Meeks. And Lander has gained a 4-3 lead on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Second kill for Abby Renner. Setting up is Jaden Rowan. Outside to Stevens. She tips it over. It was returned up by Bugas. Stauffenberg with the first touch at the middle. It's Emma Getz. Saved by Bugas, then to Stevens, cross quarter, pushed up Stauffenberg. On the Lander side, Renner with the big attack, cross quarter, inbounds. And another attack and kill for Abby Renner. Makes it 5-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Rowan serves again. 5-3 lead for Lander. Outside attack, it's Stevens with the cross-court shot. Close to the student section. They back out of the way, let Renner get to it. Put over from Crane. Onto the Mountain View side. Camry Hutchings sets to the middle. Tipped down by Meeks, but she got caught over the net. And they'll call a net touch there, but she was also over the line as well. Either way you cut it. A point for Lander makes it 6-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Set number 1 action. We'll have that brought to you by Big Country Properties, as well as broker Bobby Dolzal is part of the number 1 listing and selling agency in the Bridger Valley. Return over the net onto Mountain View side. Camry Hutchings sets back on a little slide from the middle, and Olivia Meeks with the kill. And everyone thought she was under the ball. Well, she was, but she didn't have too much power on it so that it wouldn't stay out. It wouldn't go out of bounds. It stayed just in on the back left corner. Casey Bugas serving for Mountain View. 6-4 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Floating serve over from Bugis, touched up by Stauffenberg. Rowan to the outside, and Renner pushes it over. Tipped up by Kylie Dellinger. 10-foot line, back line push from Rinker. From the right to the left, Crane to Renner. She sends it into the second level of the exercise machines up above as Casey Bugis got a return deflected high and out. 7-4 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 3 kills for Abby Renner already as she goes back to serve. Puts Debbie Stauffenberg up into the front line, the sophomore for Lander. 7-4 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Mountain View trailing Lander. And tipped over the line. Just up, and there was an over the line call, just got in. And Donna Bruce, the down official for this as well, and it was on Emma Crane. That gives the point to Mountain View. Crane was caught under the line. Under the net and stepping that foot just over it all the way. 7-5 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Back to the Mountain View serve. They trail in the opening set by 1, 7-5. Rowan at the middle of the net to the right side. Crane, good hard hit, returned up from Bugis in a second punch over from Ashley Timms. Stauffenberg gets a hard shot into the stands, and it was deflected off the block, goes into the stands. 8-5 the score. First attack and kill for Demi Stauffenberg. Whitney Hansen in the mint green, spearmint green, libero jersey. Back set from Hutchings to Stevens. She keeps it in play. Rowan with the cross court return up. Crane over to Renner, and she sends it over to the Mountain View side. To the middle, it's Kylie Dellinger with the kill. Kill for Dellinger, 8-6. 3 kills for Mountain View. And Haley Stevens has the serve. Just over the net, Renner with the touch up, Rowan to the outside, Stauffenberg, cross court, no one there. Stauffenberg with the kill. 9-6 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Subs in for Lander. Haley Lytle back to serve. Stauffenberg up at the front, at outside. Rowan in the front line as well. To the outside, it's Rinker with a cross-court shot. Hansen returns it up high. Rowan to the back line. It's Renner pushing it over. Back to Kylie Dellinger. Goes to Camry Hutchings. To the outside, it's Rinker. Blocked up. Hutchings has got Casey Bugis, and she shanked it. A lift. 4 hits, whatever it was that you want to call it. It's against Mountain View, and it's 10-6 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. This for number 3 and 4. The loser of this contest will likely face Rollins, although we don't know what will happen in that contest. Douglas, a very strong team as well. And a kill from the left side, Allie Rinker with her first kill of the contest. 10-7 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Suppose I should double check to make sure that bracket went as expected yesterday. I haven't had time to check that in the morning. Yes, it is Douglas and Rollins playing at 3 p.m. So the winners and losers, whoever wins that game will take on the loser of this, and the other way around. Stauffenberg to the outside, blocked, and just lands out of bounds by a hair. 11-7 on the block. That goes against Mountain View. 11-7. Kylie Dellinger comes into the game. No, she doesn't. No, that's incorrect. That's the loudspeaker. I was looking down. There's no Dellinger in there. Condis gets a bump up. Back to Hutchings on the Landers side. 11-7. They have the lead. Renner sets up. She's blocked by Meeks. Returns it back over the net. Meeks is blocked as well. Now a tee off for Rinker. It's saved by Stauffenberg. Back line. It's to the left side. Renner has the ball returned over the net by Ashley Timms. She's celebrating, but that's still in play. Back to Mountain View side. Olivia Meeks to Hutchings. Outside Rinker. Block big. Hutchings. No, that's Bugis rather, then goes to Hutchings. 3 bumps and over for Timms. Just inbounds. Renner with the first touch. Rowan back to Abby Renner. It's cross-court kill off the hand of Allie Rinker. Makes it 12-7 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 6 kills from the outside attack already of Lander. 4 from Renner, 2 from Stauffenberg. Stauffenberg serves. Floats it just over the net. Condis returns it back over, tapped down by Rowan. A little pinball action, 3 and over for Mountain View. Back to Lander's side. And Renner rolls it over the net to the back court. Bugis with the first touch dump from Hutchings. Diving save by Hansen to keep it over and returned it over the net. So it's Mountain View's turn. And a flip by Allie Rinker over the block. She touched it just over the block for the kill on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Second kill of the set for Allie Rinker. They trail by 4. Emily Bugis, the server for Mountain View. Hansen comes up to make the first touch. Renner at the middle attack, deflected off the block, takes something off of it, allows Condis to return to Hutchings, and they set up middle. Middle shot goes to the back left court. Hansen on the return. Renner sharp cross. Deflected and put down by Camry Hutchings. It was a desperation return from Allie Rinker. Gives Camry the opportunity to flip it down, and 12-9 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Emily Bugis punches it over. Hansen on the return. Rowan has to run and slip it back over the net. Hutchings taps it down, return back over. Olivia Meeks hits it into the net. On the flip back over the net on the Lander side, it was Savannah West, the senior, getting the play over. 13-9 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Emma Gist to serve for Lander. Bugis pushes it over. Just comes up, makes the play. A backline push over a bump from Stauffenberg. Two-handed flip as she goes back on her backside. And Casey Bugis keeps it in play. A tip over is blocked from Renner. She gets it back over again to Mountain View's side. And a two-hand block stays on Lander's side on the attack from Allie Rinker. Light bump from Renner. Works as a kill. Condis and Meeks both kind of touch it. And it goes nowhere good. Call that a kill for Abby Renner, her 5th of the set. 14-9 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Lander is a heavy, high and outside team. Stauffenberg had 261 kills through 69 sets. Shot out of bounds gives a point back to Lyman, Lander. And that forces a Mountain View timeout. 15-9 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board on a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
Serving Wyoming since 1941, Plains Tire is Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer with great locations throughout the state. They'll get you the right tires that offer the best results for your vehicle at the lowest prices, guaranteed. Plus, you can go to any Plains Tire Pro dealer with their nationwide warranty service. And check out their Plains Tire phone app.
Come down and see us at Plains Tires on 157 Bear River Drive for all your automotive needs. Hablamos también español.
Both teams back out. Well, no, never mind. Mountain View is out. Lander just breaks the huddle. They were huddled up basically out onto the court. 15-9 the score. Lander on top of Mountain View. This in the regional consolation game, 3rd and 4th place. And really what they're looking at is the 3rd and 4th seed. Now, Mountain View defeated Douglas earlier in the year. They're 0-1 against Rollins. So we will see how they can perform, depending. They need to come back. Otherwise, it's probably Rollins. Maybe Douglas, though. Douglas has been a strong team. Renner with a flip over onto the Mountain View side. Jump set to the outside. Rinker. Hard shot put up with one hand by Stauffenberg. Sophomore showing some nice back row play and a Renner attack. Return by Mountain View back to the cross court. It's Rinker. Stauffenberg with the first touch. Rowan to Renner. Power shot. Bugis gets it up and over. It's back to Lander's side. It was surely over. Bugis smiling right now after that play. Deflection, and this time Emily Bugis with the bump up to the outside. Rinker, two-handed. She was too late pushing it up. She went with one hand and then switched to two, called for a lift on the play. 16-9 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. I mentioned it was through 69 and 72 sets, so certainly not complete, but 279 kills and 261 for Renner and Stauffenberg, respectively, on the season for the stats that we could have. Back set to Rinker, flips it over 2 blockers, diving save again made by Stauffenberg. At the middle, it's a block from Olivia Meeks on the attack by Emma Getz. A bump over from Renner, first touch from Hutchings, then to Meeks, and then over to Rinker. 3 and over for Mountain View, 16-9 the score. They're trailing on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. A bad set by Jaden Rowan ends up really close to the net, but Abby Renner still able to handle it and gets her 6th kill of the set. 17-9 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Serve back to Gist. Pushed up, Rinker on the first touch, then Olivia Meeks hits it out of bounds on the outside attack. Timeout number 2 taken by Mountain View. They trail big, 18-9 on the Benedict's Market and True Value Board. We'll be back in 30 on this First Bank presentation of Mountain View Buffs Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
18-9 on the Benedict's Market and True Value Boards. We welcome you back to Lander Valley High School, where the home team, Lander, is playing Mountain View for third place. They lead at 18-9 over the Buffs. Both timeouts been exhausted by head coach Diana Timms. Outside attack, Olivia Meeks out of the break is good for a kill. And a point back to Mountain View. Makes it 10 points for Mountain View, 18 for Lander. And I'm looking up right now to see where they will play at if you're the number 4 seed from the West, you play at 3 p.m. on November 7th. If you're the number 3 from the West, you play at 6 p.m. on the same day. Air on the Lander side gives a point back to the Buffs. So 3 or 6 the times that both these teams will be playing, 18-11 on the Benedict's Market and True Value Board. Lander has been eliminated from state contention. They were taken out of it by Mountain View in a 5-setter just a bit ago. 15-12 the final. Renner from the outside attacks, gets it in front of Bugis, and another kill for Renner makes it 20-10. 20-11. Is it 19-11? Wow. All right, 19-11. I put the wrong point last time. 19-11 on the Benedict's Market and True Value Board. Jaden Rowan with the serve. Hutchings to the outside, and Olivia Meeks is just out of bounds. She was searching for the back left corner and got just a little bit too far. Make it 20-11. Rowan serves, second time. Inbounds for an ace. Bugis let it roll back, and it hit inside the area of play. An ace for Rowan, the first of Lander's day. 21-11 on the Benedict's Market and True Value Board. Floating serve. Bugis returns it over the net, then to Rowan. And Crane to Renner. 3 bumps and over. Back to Mountain View side. Hutchings sets outside. Stevens, great save by Stauffenberg. Outside to Renner themselves. Line shot sends Bugis. Emily Bugis to the ground. 22-11 on the Benedict's Market and True Value Board. Abby Renner was hot in yesterday's win against Lyman in 4 sets, and then helped them take a 2-set-to-none lead over Pinedale before eventually falling in 5. Beat Powell in 3 today. Pancake up by Stauffenberg, then one by Hansen and returned over the net. Double pancake over for Lander. Push from Getz over to the back right side. It was Bugis on the first touch, then Stevens against 2 blockers. Line shot. Stauffenberg can't push that one up. 22-12 on the Benedict's Market and True Value Board. Gives a much-needed point back the Buffs' way, 22-12. Bugis sends it over to Hansen. High return and ace for Casey Bugis. Fighting hard late in these points, 22-13. Second ace of the set for Mountain View, third between the two teams. Jaden Rowan has one as well for Lander. Bugis sets up again, floats this one. And Stauffenberg comes up, then to Rowan at the middle is Renner with a push over, back right corner. Emily with the first touch, then to Camry. Stevens to the back middle. Stauffenberg controlling the middle of the court and really all of it. Renner goes off 2 blockers. Diving save made by Bugis. Bump set to Hutchings and then a middle attack by Dellinger. Rowan to Renner and then it'll be tight on the net to push it over. Getz does just that. Bugis to Hutchings and 10-foot line attack by Dellinger is inbounds on the line. Found it. Kylie Dellinger with the attack and kill. Second attack and kill for Kylie Dellinger of the second set. Casey Bugis with a serve. 22-14 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Big Country Properties first quarter. As we had an abbreviated Big Country Properties pregame show, we'll give them the first set. Camry Hutchings back to Stevens. Deflects it off the block of Crane and gets. And a point back to Mountain View on the kill from Stevens. She has 3 in the set. 22-15 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Casey Bugas continuing to serve. She started it all off with an ace. A floater, ace! Taps down 10 feet from the net. Second ace of the serving run for Casey Bugas. And it's 22-16 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 6-point deficit still for Mountain View, but trying to climb back here late in the first set on a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
Set 1 here, 22-16 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Mountain View and Lander here in set 1. Mountain View trailing by 6, but on a long serving run, forcing the Lander timeout. Close to another ace. Yep, make it 1. Hanson returns it over the net and out of bounds, whereas Casey Bugas been with this great serving action. This is as good as she's served all season long. Down by 5. The sophomore libero winds up again. Another floater. This one had a little more power on it, though. Renner gets the back set from Rowan and ends the run. 23-17 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 9 kills in the first set for Abby Renner. 9 of the 23 points from Lander have come by way of the Renner right hand. Line drive serve. And it's into the net. Camry Hutchings dumps it over for a kill. Still hanging around, 23-18. What's the biggest they trailed in this one? 18-9, that was about right. 22-11, they were down by 11 when Casey Bugas took over with that serve, and then she got an ace. She had 3 aces in that serving run, so pulled it to within 5. Still down a big one, though. Stauffenberg with an outside attack. Hutchings to Stevens, out of bounds, got under the ball, but there was a touch. And a fire alarm. Hey, this is the second game in 8 days where I've had a fire alarm. So the AD comes out, and they may force an evacuation right now. He's saying hold on. We'll have to see. I would guess it's not an actual fire, but I suppose they have to wait and see on this one. So we may, an evacuation. Well, we will leave you running right here, and I will get on my way. I'll be back as soon as I can. Yes, we have a fire alarm evacuation here on MyLocalRadio.com. Back to action, 23-19 in just a bit. Welcome back. We are, it didn't take long at all now, did it? Short fire alarm delay, and we return here on mylocalradio.com. As it's 23-19, Mountain View's hot run set off the fire alarms, but I guess just a drill, as we'll have to have everyone file back into the gymnasium and restart. Landers at the center of the court. Mountain View starting to come back in as well. And they have to put their shoes back on. They rip all their shoes off, and I don't think Lander ever actually left. I think they just went into the locker room. Mountain View had to go outside, so they've all got to put their gym shoes back on. That will delay the start just a little bit. 23-19 the score here. I suppose I can remove the fire alarm delay. I thought I should put something up in case someone just came up and heard dead silence and may have been looking away from the screen at the moment. Wonder what was going on. Well, in the 4A West, there's a consolation semifinal matchup happening as Star Valley and Evanston are playing for a right to into state. Star Valley up 13-8 and up 1-0. The winner goes to state. Loser is done for the year. Not that Rock Springs would have been any better of a matchup, but playing Star Valley from a mental standpoint was probably worst case scenario for the Evanston Red Devils after they lost their first round game in 5 sets yesterday to Riverton. Haven't beat them, haven't taken a set. They're 0 for 9 in sets, now 0 for 10 in set counts against Star Valley on the season. Well, the fire alarms cooled everyone down. You see some shivers as people file back in. Both teams are back onto the court, and the down official, Donna Bruce, taking a look around and making sure everyone's in order. Couldn't blame them if they were out of order. 23-19 the score, is we're 1 point away from a set. 1 point for Lander, and Mountain View down by 11 at 22-11 has allowed just 1 point to their 8 run. That run coming on the serving back of Casey Bucas, who had 3 aces along the way. I think this gym's warmer than the auxiliary, don't you think? The auxiliary gym, that was cold this morning. My legs were going numb sitting up there in the 5 sets. We were up in the caverns there right next to the computer setup that has those cameras working. Or not working, depending on how you feel about them. I think you had about half the court view from most of that match. All right, both teams huddled now. Lander AD talking with the officials. Donna Bruce, down official, talking with Mountain View. Still no sign of a contest getting back underway. It's almost like we're starting new again. Maybe a good thing for Lander, I would say, because they had everything running in the first 20 points, 20, 30 points of the game between the two teams, and then it kind of all disappeared as of the last 10 going in Mountain View's favor. So they had to take their shoes off. Their shoes are back on now and tied up. And I think there was a final area check to see if we were good to play, and everything was fine, and it was just a mistake or a pull or whatever you want to call it. A replay of the set, of the serve over. The whistle blows. Lander home crowd comes alive. And we have volleyball once again. All right. The serve is Mountain View's. Camry Hutchings with it. Trailing 23-19 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Hutchings serves it over and just in. Hansen on the first touch up. Gets, then over to Stauffenberg on the push over. It's Bucas. First touch, Hutchings to Stevens. Rolls it over and over the hands of Renner for the kill. Haley Stevens puts another point on the board for Mountain View. 4 kills in the set for Haley Stevens. Certainly had a great match between the two teams last time, although it was a 4-set win for Mountain View. There were 4 close sets. High return from Hansen. Rowan to the outside. Stauffenberg winds up. Sharp cross picked up by Rinker. And it's Hutchings back to Stevens. Left hand push over. And one more point for Haley Stevens. Puts Mountain View 2 away from tying it up. 23-21 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. We'll come back with the remainder of this first set action after a Lander timeout on MyLocalRadio.com.
Your mobility.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
23-21 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board out of the break. Lander has now exhausted both of their timeouts, and the whole time they've had the lead, but it's been now we're up to a 10-1 run for Mountain View. Late in this first set, Camry Hutchings, the server. Over and picked up by Renner. Rowan sets to Stauffenberg. She gets a good windup, but hits it into the net. 4 hits for Lander. And it's a 1-point contest. 23-22 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Looked like Mountain View just needed to wake up after a long 5-setter against Lyman about 25 minutes before. Lander had been sitting and waiting for quite a while. Timms with a good pinball push back to Dellinger. It's over onto Lyman's side. Stauffenberg winds up, return on the cross court. Rinker read it perfectly. 1-2, and the third is over by Bugus, just inbounds. It's Rowan back to the outside. A low set to Stauffenberg and a pancake not quite up. Set point number 1 after all that goes to Lander. 24-22 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Third kill of the set for Stauffenberg. Whitney Hansen serving the libero for Lander. 24-22, right side set. Stevens cross quarter, returned up high. Not a bad one. Over the net by Stauffenberg. Hutchings to Bugus. Bumps up, tries to get an attack to Stevens, but it's just a little push over. Stauffenberg to Rowan. Back to Stauffenberg at the outside position. Punches it over the block. Dellinger to Hutchings. She sets up at the middle of the court. Gets it to Stevens. It's blocked over. Dellinger on a high return again. Hutchings bump sets behind her. She tried to keep herself out of the net. Timms over the net. On to Rowan for Lander, and Stauffenberg gets a swing on it. A sharp cross. High return is called for a lift against Haley Stevens, and set 1 goes Lander's way. 25-22 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. On to set number 2 in a couple of minutes. This is a First Bank presentation of Mountain View playing Lander at the regional tournament on MyLocalRadio.com. That first set, as the Wiz pregame show, is brought to you by Big Country Properties.
The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio is back for another year with a bit of a twist. Join me, Jake Hibbard, as I transition from covering Evanston and becoming the voice of the Mountain View Buffs and Lyman Eagles. I'll be live every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. with news, analysis, and guests as we focus on the Bridger Valley and beyond. We'll cover the happenings around the area and across the state landscape. We would also like to welcome onto the show as a regular this year, Dennis Lynch of Auto Farm Chevrolet. Join us every Wednesday on KNYN 99.1 FM in the Evanston listening area for the Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio. If you can't catch it then, don't worry. We'll post all the episodes up to MyLocalRadio.com, or you can also find it by searching and subscribing to the Wyoming Prep Podcast on iTunes or Google Play. The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio, presented by Auto Farm Chevrolet, every Wednesday, August through March on KNYN 99.1 FM in Evanston, or online anytime at MyLocalRadio.com, or of course at the Wyoming Prep Podcast on wherever you get your podcasts. The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio. Come join in on the fun.
Bye-bye. Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
Welcome back to Lander High School. Lander, Wyoming, the scene of regional volleyball for 2019. The set count is in the favor of Lander right now, 1-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. So we'll get that sent over your way. These little graphics aren't perfect, but we're not allowed to use a scoreboard, as that might compete just a little bit too much with the NFHS network. Set number 2 is got Mountain View on the left side of the net, Lander on the right side. And Lander with the opening serve. See if it's Whitney Hansen taking it, or no, it's Jaden Rowan. Opening server for Lander. Rowan with 1 ace in the first set. And we are underway here in set number 2. Meeks can't handle a second bump, goes into right around the net, and Camry Hutchins unable to dig it out, 1-0. First point, Lander's way. Rowan with the second serve over. Rinker on the first touch this time. Bump set from Hutchings to the back line. It's Rinker throwing it over the net. Stauffenberg, a good pass to Rowan, has options, opts outside, cross-court shot, out of bounds, no touch. Oh, there was a, wait, what? It was called inbounds. 2-0. Give the kill to Renner. 9 kills in the first set for Abby Renner, so that's number 10. Third serve for Jaden Rowan at a 2-0 juncture. Outside attack, Stevens is blocked, and Camry Hutchings goes back to Stevens after pushing it back up. Stauffenberg with the first touch. Rowan to the outside. It's Renner over the block, and a shanked return by Casey Bugas is 3-0 Lander's way. 3-0 Lander. Also on MyLocalRadio.com network, got Star Valley against Evanston. Star Valley sitting at set point right now, up 1-0 already. In this an elimination game, we're in the third place contest here. An ace by Rowan, her second of the game, and maybe a timeout coming up soon for Coach Timms. 4-0 the score. I think Diana Timms just made an appeal for the student section to move back, and that has the down official, Donna Bruce, going out and telling everyone to back up on the line. 4-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Following the ace from Rowan, she sends it over again. Hard shot, oh, may have been out of bounds, but it was returned by Rinker. Instead, it's an outside attack and a touch call. Gives the point to Mountain View. There first. And it's should be 4-1, but the score says 5-0. I think they're getting it replaced right now. Yes, they are. Casey Bugas serves. Bugas taking her time. The 2 dribbles, the 3 spins. Now the jump power serve over to the back right side is Whitney Hansen. She had 3 aces in the first set. Bugas did. Sharp cross out of bounds from Renner. And a point back to Mountain View. 4-2 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board.
Bugas now serving 2-4.
Bugas second serve. It's a floater, just a little bit too far over the net to take the back line too far out of it. Renner tools the block and hits the announcer. 5-2 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. That being the guy on the loudspeaker, not me. Renner, 12 kills. And now the serve, line drive, ace for Abby Renner. She's got to be on the fast track to an all-state selection. Abby Renner does. One of the top outsides as a senior now in the 3A classification. She's a returning all-stater from last year. Her and Stauffenberg as a freshman. 6-2 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Rowan with the set up to the right side. It's out of bounds on the Emma Crane attack, and a point back to Mountain View. 6-3 the score. Apparently it's National Bison Day. Camry Hutchings serves it and returned over the net by Hansen. Give that an ace for Camry. 6-4 the score. Camry with the serve a second time. She was the second server on the backside of that Mountain View run late in the first set. Just pushed over by Rowan, but not in bounds. So back-to-back aces for Hutchings. Has us at 6-5. Hutchings looking for a third straight serve for an ace. Rowan to Stauffenberg. Cross-court shot and picked up by Rinker. Bumped over by Timms. High return from Hansen. It'll have to be a back line attack from Hansen. She bumps it up. Bugis to Hutchings. She was not ready to take that. Hansen was not. High return by Rowan. Second bump from Crane, and then Renner calls off everyone at the middle to push it over. 6-5 the score. Mountain View trying to tie it here. Stevens with the cross-court attack does just that. And Mountain View has tied on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 5 kills for Haley Stevens in the first set. Her first of the second. Camry Hutchings serving. Stauffenberg with the first touch, then the outside attack. Down on front of Hutchings. Stauffenberg had 2 kills in her first 3 rotations. Back in the first set, has just 2 since then. Lander with the lead, 7-6. Hutchings back set to the right side, and Stevens goes off the hands of Savannah West at the middle. She saw the 2 blockers on her and pushed it for the kill. Tied back up, 7-7 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Serve out of bounds. Hansen just pulled off in time. In the back right court, Cortland Condis replaces Haley Stevens. Now serving Haley Lytle, the sophomore. Backline player for Lander. Bump set from Timms and cross-court shot from Rinker. Renner on the first touch. Stauffenberg punches it over. Camry Hutchings, then to Bugis, and a bump over from Rinker. West at the middle. Fakes a slide instead of Stauffenberg. Sharp cross in bounds for Stauffenberg. And Demi with another kill, her 5th. 9-7 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Lander up 1-0 here in the second. Cortland Condis with the touch up. Set to the outside. Rinker with a good shot, and she split the defense of Renner. She was looking right and had to go left. Point back on the kill for Rinker, just her 3rd. 9-8 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Caitlin Timms serving. Waiting for the whistle. And it's over and out. 10-8. Kylie Dellinger will come in for Timms. And then go back out, and then puts Casey Bugis back in. As the libero playing right back. Condis at middle back, Rinker at left. 10-8 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Lander leading 1-0. And a big shot from Renner at the outside. Shoots it through the arms of Ashley Timms to make it 11-8. Kill from Renner. Adds another one. 11-8 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. High set to the outside. It's Allie Rinker. Hitting it over. Renner is blocked in bounds from Timms and Meeks. 11-9 to score. Emily Bugis checks in to serve. Casey Bugis and Cortland Condis in the back line. 2-point disadvantage for Mountain View. And the home team Lander with a big home crowd advantage. Tip over the block by Renner, and another point for her. Her kill level is getting up in the Jamie Strite level. Had 9 in the first set, 5 more in the second. Serves back to Emma Gist. Let's over the net. Hutchings to the outside. It's Meeks. Big block and no chance for Bugus. Diving out, sacrificing the body, throwing up a right fist, but no good. And a big block from the middle there. We'll give that one, I think that's to Savannah West, or is that maybe Crane, actually. It's Emma Getz. A serve inside the corner. 14-9 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board on the ace by Stauffenberg. Pardon me, that was just on the serve on the ace. Back set to Rinker, and they run the slide, and Allie was timed all off with Camry Hutchings. She was down on the ground when the serve came, or when the set came to her hands. 15-9 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Timeout taken. We'll be back in 30 seconds on a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball, mylocalradio.com.
Meet the service and parts department staff at Auto Farm Chevrolet. We work on almost every type of vehicle, foreign and domestic. We also sell parts and accessories for almost all makes and models. Our staff is friendly and well trained, and we are here to serve you. Open Monday through Friday beginning at 7:30 a.m. We invite you to Auto Farm Chevrolet for all your parts and for all your service needs. 624 Front Street, Evanston. We're a community-driven dealer.
15-9 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. A Mountain View timeout taken. Mountain View, when they have the serve, having to deal with the student section on their side of the court, and they're serenading the server during those quiet moments. The Lander home crowd doing nothing to dissuade that, as they're getting silent and just letting the songs take away and take Mountain View out of its system, and it certainly seems to be working. A hit into the net by Olivia Meeks. 16-9.
Serving 16-9.
Emma just continues to serve. One ace in this run for her. It is inbounds. It hit Condis on the line, and it's 17-9. Condis was backing up, letting it go through, and the ball fell right onto her foot, out of bounds. But since it's out of bounds after it touches her foot, it's an ace for Gist, and Gist serves again. 17-9, make it another ace. Can't return it over. 18-9 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board, and timeout number 2 taken by Coach Timms. This is about the point where we were last set, wasn't it? 18-9 when Mountain View started their comeback. We'll see if they can do something similar later, and about 30 seconds from now in this First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on mylocalradio.com.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
18-9 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Emma Gist still with the serve. Back to Bugus. Camry Hutchings at the middle of the court, about 3 feet from the net. Sets to the outside, and finally a point back for Mountain View's way. A kill for Allie Rinker. 18-10 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 4 kills for Rinker. Libero Whitney Hansen is back in, and here comes the singing to Allie Rinker. Looks down to the bench to serve it just over, close to an ace. Stauffenberg returns it, and Renner over the net. Camry Hutchings to Stevens, who pushes it into the net, trying to get it over. 19-10. Jaden Rowan has the serve for Lander. Line drive back to Bugus. Camry Hutchings on the backside. Olivia Meeks to the corner. Pushed up by Rowan, and then a bump over from Renner. Bugus to Hutchings and a middle set. keeps floating, goes outside, blocked from Lander. And it was Emma Crane on the block down, 20-10 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Crane's second block. She had one in the first set. Jaden Rowan serving. Camry Hutchings back sets on a slide to Meeks. She got under the ball, but Rowan opted to return it. And a kill for Olivia. Third of the set, fifth of the game for Olivia, 20-11. She has half a block as well. Casey Bugis on the serve. Bugis serves it over. She had a great run last time at about this point. Outside attack, Renner through the block of Hutchings. And a kill for Lander, makes it 21-11. 6 kills in the set, 15 in the game for Renner. She has the serve. Jump serve, power shot, and a lot of downward motion on it. Stevens gets a sharp cross as the set was way behind the antenna. To the right side, it's over by Crane, and first touch from Rinker. Stevens into the net again, and another point Lander's way. 22-11. Lander on top, 1-0, and running away with set 2. Line drive from Renner again. It's a struggle to get it over. Mountain View just does. Stauffenberg winds up and across court, left punch from Rinker. Puts the ball up into play, and Dellinger, she punches it with her right hand, and it's out of bounds on the attack. Another point Lander's way, 23-11 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Mountain View's out of timeouts, so they'll have to play this one out. Abby Renner serving. Jump serve, Rinker to Hutchings, and a low set goes to Stevens on the outside position. At the middle, will tip over, puts in that set point. Emma Getz with a kill. Her first, 24-11 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board.
Renner now serving 24-11.
Renner ace, no, not quite. 3 bumps and just over. Dellinger on the third. Stauffenberg tips it over into the donut hole again. Diving play from Bugis. That was from Emily. Stevens is blocked. Casey on the first touch. Hutchings back to Stevens. 2 blockers on her again and into the net. The airs due in Mountain View. 25-11 the final in set number 2. On a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com. Back with set 3 after this. Lander up 2-0.
We hope you're enjoying this MyLocalRadio.com exclusive broadcast of Bridger Valley Sports. We love being able to travel around the state to bring the action on the field or court back to you watching at home. Let's face it, doing all of this would not be possible without all of our great sponsors. We appreciate the support the following businesses and individuals show to both Mountain View and Lyman Sports. Dr. McKay Frankham, quality dental care at affordable prices. Yeager's Auto Body. For nearly 45 years, Yeager's Auto Body in Green River has been at the top of the game in auto repair. West Star Printing in Evanston. No matter what you want printed, West Star is where you want it done. Reese Auto Service. From lawnmowers and snowblowers to cars, trucks, and semis, Reese Auto Service in Lyman does it all. Trona Valley Credit Union, member NCUA. Plains Tire in Evanston, Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer. Thank you to all of our Bridger Valley sports sponsors.
As one of the region's most visited websites, MyLocalRadio.com is here to serve you. Catch up on local and regional news and information. Buy, sell, or trade your good used items on the radio classifieds. Stream your favorite music all day, every day, or catch our live coverage of your high school teams in action, all on MyLocalRadio.com. Like us on Facebook so you never miss a giveaway, and visit MyLocalRadio.com today to stream it all live.
When do you schedule doctor appointments?
In bed before I fall asleep. In the car waiting to pick up my kids.
We can even do it after breakfast.
We all lead busy lives. Online appointment scheduling puts you in control. In just 90 seconds, you can make an appointment with a primary care provider or specialist at evanstonanytime.com. Select the day and time most convenient for you. Enter some basic information, and just like that, you're scheduled for care. Schedule appointments for next day and beyond at evanstonanytime.com.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
Two-set to none lead for Lander as we will begin set number 3 momentarily here at Lander Valley High School. If they can finish off a third set here and get a victory, Lander will have only 1 blemish on their tournament, and it was a big miss. They were up 2 sets to none over Pinedale before falling in 5. They've been playing as good as they have all year on their home court on a regional tournament. Scores have been reset. 2 sets Lander, none for Mountain View. Mountain View with the opening serve of Haley Stevens on the right side of the net. Purple jerseys. And on the left side of the net, it's Lander with the white jerseys. Casey Bucas replaces Olivia Meeks.
Haley Stevens will begin game number 3, serving for Mountain View.
And we're ready to go. Stevens over. Hansen, high return. Rowan returns it over the net, now to bounds. First point of the set is Mountain View's.
So serve 1-0.
Haley Stevens, second set. Stauffenberg with the return up, and then Rowan to Renner. Drops in after tipping over the head of the block. Renner with 15 kills after the 2 sets, gets one at number 16 pretty quickly here in set number 3. Rowan over and ace for Rowan. She has had 1 ace every set so far. Last one came in the first or second serve of that second set. 2-1 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. High return outside, Rinker off the hands of the block there. It was Emma Crane. Rinker 5 kills today. Caitlin Timms into serve. Timms over and just in a lift by Renner. Makes it 3-2 Mountain View. Best of 5 here, so Mountain View would need to sweep the next 3. They had a 5-setter just before this, and they honestly looked a little bit tired as they were in the huddle between the second and third set here. A block touches down to the line of Emma Getz. It was a swing by Olivia Meeks. Getz with the block, and the point Lander's way. Getz with her first block. Abby Renner serving. Back middle to Cortland Condis. Hutchings to Rinker, and she's blocked big, but just inbounds. And give it to Crane there on the big block. 4-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board.
Now serving 4-3.
4-3, Abby Renner with the serve and the lead. 2 sets to none and a 1-point lead in the third set. Jump serve over to Rinker in the back left court. She gets the attack. No, it's Meeks rather in the corner. Hansen returns it tight at the net. That forces Rowan to return it over, but a double hit or a lift called on Camry Hutchings. Gives the point back to Lander. And Mountain View looking a little bit, well, honestly, just a little bit spent in this day. They've on set number 8 in a short fashion, and Ashley Timms hits it out of bounds to make it 6-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Abby Renner still serving. They had their chance, Mountain View did, with that run late in the first set. Going out on a 10-1 run. Push over from Stauffenberg. She hit it off the side of her hands, but everything is working for Lander. Pinedale and Warland will play in the championship following this. 7-3 the score here in the third set. That contest set for 3 o'clock. And we're at about 2:05 p.m. right now. Cross-court shot goes to Hansen, and Stauffenberg for Lander pushes it over. Hutchings to Bugis. High setup, hurt, close to the net. She's blocked back down. And a point back to Lander on the lift of Rinker. 8-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board.
Now serving 8-3.
Rinker gets the return up from Renner. Backline push from Rinker back to Lander's side. Renner on the first touch, then outside Stauffenberg on the setup. Rowan, big swing by Demi Stauffenberg. The run continues 9-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. At the moment, Mountain View's bench just letting this one play out.
Renner serving 9-3.
Mountain View may have expended all of their energy just getting that state berth against Lyman earlier today. Outside, Stauffenberg tips it over 2 blockers, and Demi with another kill. Back-to-back shots makes it 10-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 13 points in, all but 3 have gone Lander's way, the home team. Sitting up on the left side of the net, float serve over again, an ace from Abby Renner. Timeout taken, 11-3. The score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Lander leading in the set count 2-0, and in the score 11-3 on a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball.
Light up your world with a custom-built LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign in Evanston. It's a proven fact that signage that lights up creates more attention. So light it up and then add text, images, and video, and your sign becomes even more powerful. Start sharing your advertising messages and information with your customers today. The team at Rocky Mountain Sign provides all types of quality signage that is custom-built and maintained. Call today for a free quote. Rocky Mountain Sign, 307-789-5202. Rocky Mountain Sign, serving customers in Wyoming, Utah, and Idaho.
(11-3) on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Abby Renner still serving. 8-point lead. This one returned. She got an ace that led to the timeout. Push over from Rinker and returned over the net. Meeks puts a point Mountain View's way with a slap down on a 50-50 ball. Meeks has 6 kills, 1 block. That was a block assist along with Ashley Timms. 11-4 for Emily Bugis serving for Mountain View. Rowan outside, Stauffenberg tips over the block. Pancake up from Bugis. Crane to the line, Stauffenberg picked up by Bugis again. Outside attack, not a tough one to handle for Lander. Back to Stauffenberg, it was a bad set. Push from Stauffenberg, Rinker bumps it over the net. Rowan back to the middle, and a flip down, picked up by Bugis. And Rinker just out of bounds on a middle attack. Another point Lander's way. 12-4 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Serve over from Hansen. Bugis to Hutchings, outside Meeks, and dug out of the net. No, net touch. Lift, rather, called against, I think it was Savannah West in the middle for Lander. Back to Mountain View, 12-5 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Oh, both these teams are be at state next week. Mountain View and Lander. Lander in line for the 3rd seed if they continue what they've started here today. A block from Olivia Meeks. Her 2nd of the contest makes it 12-6. Allie Rinker from the far left side serves it over. Far left side, her side of the court, I should say. Backline attack, Allie Rinker, whoa, misses it. Barely got it halfway up the net. 13-6 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. And it's served over. Back to Mountain View's side. At the middle, it's just out on the middle attack by Meeks. Another point by way of an attacking error on Mountain View's point. Goes Lander's way. Lander in the set has 4 kills, 2 blocks, and 2 aces. And that counts for at least half of their 14 points. Outside attack, cross quarter from Stevens. Picked up by Hansen. Then Stauffenberg winds up, throws it through the block and down the line. A deceptive play by Stauffenberg. Looked like she was going for a cross, and then it went down the line. And judging by her reaction, it was not on purpose that happened. 4 kills in the set for Stauffenberg to just 1 for Renner. 15-6 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Haley Lytle serving for Lander. Hutchings to the outside. No, it's to the middle, and backline shot from Allie Rinker. Rinker has to keep her feet on the ground to avoid an illegal backline attack. Bump over from Hutchings, back to Lander. Rowan to Stauffenberg, shot down the line, in bounds. 16-6 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board.
Lytle serving 16-6.
Lytle serving again. To the middle, it's nearly an ace, pushed over on the third by Meeks. Rowan runs a slide to the back end. Into the net goes Savannah West's hit. 16-7. Serve to Casey Bugis. She had quite that run back in set number 1. Had a 10-1 run for Mountain View. Ended up losing that set in a close one. That was the closest set by far out of the 2. And a net touch on Stauffenberg gives a point back to Mountain View. 16-8 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Bugis serves a second time. Punches it over. High return from Hansen, then to Rowan. Outside Stauffenberg, bounces it off the tape. Oh, falls in bounds. Hot hand of Stauffenberg, picks up her 6th kill of the set. 11th of the game. 17-8 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Stauffenberg over, Bugis to Hutchings, then to the middle. Dellinger winds up off the hands of West. A kill for Dellinger. Dellinger's first kill since the opening set when she had 2. Emily Bugis and Timms checking in and out for each other. Camry Hutchings to the back line to serve. 17-9. Serve just over, returned over the net by Hansen. Dellinger to Hutchings, back set, it's Timms. 6 feet from the net, she goes cross court, pancake not up, attempted by Stauffenberg. No, that was Haley Lytle. Point back to Mountain View, and they got up to double digits, 17-10. Rowan, high bump to Renner at the 10-foot line, pushes it up to Dellinger. Then to Hutchings. She opts for the outside position, sharp cross from Stevens. Back to Renner. She's been quiet in the 3rd set so far, comparatively to her 15 kills in the first 2 sets. Stauffenberg pushes it over back side, 17-11. Lander leading Mountain View, and another hit into the net by Haley Stevens. It's been a problem. Her legs appear to be gone. It's been that way since the 2nd set. 18-10 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Hammond just serves. Jump set, Hutchings at the middle. Dellinger inbounds. And the 2nd kill for Kylie. 18-11 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Lander up 2 sets to none here in this 3rd place match at Regionals in Lander, Wyoming. The 3A West. The 3A East has Rollins and Douglas playing for the 1 and 2 seeds later today. Pinedale and Worland will play for 1 and 2 next after this at about 3 p.m., depending on when this match ends and if they move it up or keep it on time. Outside attack, Renner power shot, but I thought it was out of bounds, and that is the ruling. Renner misses on the attack, 18-11, goes 18-12. Mountain View crawling back to within 6 points. Trailed by double digits throughout most of this last several points, and a kill outside by Renner. Just her 2nd of the set, 17 in the game. 19-12 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Jaden Rowan starts the contest with the serve, and she has one here. Hutchings back to Rinker, off the hands of Emma Crane. Rinker Rinker on the kill, makes it a 6-point differential. 7th kill today for Allie in the match, I guess I should say. She had double digits earlier today in a 5-setter against Lyman. Rowan back set. Ooh, tough play for Renner. She jumps up, grabs it, and puts it back down with authority, though. 20-13 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Renner back to serve with 18 kills in the match. Also has 1 ace this set.
Renner serving 20-13.
20-13, Renner into the net and point Mountain View. Subs in, Ashley Timms and Emily Bugus replace spots on the bench in the court. Emily Bugus back to serve. Bugus over, Hansen, and Hansen's hands send the ball backwards, an ace for Emily. (20-15) the score. Bugus serves it over again. Stauffenberg with the first touch, then the attack. Pushes it over 2 blockers, and Stauffenberg's had a nose for where the opening is in this set. 6 kills in it, 21-15 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Hansen serving. Push up from Emily Bugus and Condis to the back line. At the middle, it's Renner. Rowan on the setup to Stauffenberg, again over the block, and again down in the donut hole. 22-15 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Whitney Hansen serves. Camry Hutchings to Meeks. Left side of the net, Renner just picks it up, Rowan to Stauffenberg. A roll shot over. Push up from Bugus. And a block on the outside attack of Allie Rinker by Emma Crane. Puts us at 23-15. Crane with no kills in the game, but 4 blocks. 23-15 the score. A lift on the serve. And we are at match point number 1. Whitney Hansen with the serve. It's over, picked up by Condis. Camry Hutchings to the outside, off the hands of the block. It was Allie Rinker attacking. Stauffenberg to end it. She does. Cross-court shot. 25-15. The final on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Stauffenberg rolls through a 3rd set after Abby Renner had the hot hand in 1 and 2. Stauffenberg to the count of 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 kills in set number 3. This is the First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
Do you like following your Mountain View and Lyman athletics when you can't make it to the game? Well, we love bringing it to you. Hi, I'm Jake Hibbard, voice of the Mountain View Buffaloes and Lyman Eagles, and I've been traveling around the state of Wyoming and covering high school sports for the better part of a decade. Whether it's covering a big culminating event at the Casper Event Center, calling a tightly contested Mountain View Lyman game, the greatest rivalry in this state, or kicking back and enjoying the views at one of the state's many hidden gems like the ballpark in Cowley, Wyoming, there's a few things I always see. There's officials trying their hardest, coaches sweating it out on the sidelines, and there's always a ton of support for these athletes from the entire community. MyLocalRadio.com would like to take a moment to thank all of its sponsors for making today's video coverage possible. Without all of us working together, none of this could happen. If you would like to support our future video broadcasts of Lyman and Mountain View sports, there's a few ways you can let us know. The first is, you can call our home office in Evanston, Wyoming at 307-789-8116 and let them know that you would like to know more about how you can become a sponsor of Bridger Valley Sports. The other is, you can just come up to me before or after a game and ask for more information. We've got a lot of different tiers of sponsorship and we'll find the perfect one for you. We would love for you to join the MyLocalRadio.com and Bridger Valley Sports family and help us continue to bring these games for years to come. That number again to call for the Evanston office is 307-789-8116. Or just come up and see me at one of the games and let me help you help us. And remember, Go Eagles and go Buffs.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
25-15, the final in the third set. And really only the first one got close, but Mountain View trailed that one big. They were down by 11 points, 22-11 when that run came around, and they got it as close as 23-21. Final score in that first set went 25-22 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Set 2 never really close, 25-11. Lander rolled through that one, and in the third, a 10-point victory was the difference. So Lander sweeps, and they will be the number 3 seed at state next week. And they'll play the number 2. That's either Rollins or Douglas at, I had this right here, 6 p.m. As for Mountain View, they're the 4 seed. They'll take on either Rollins or Douglas, whoever wins this 3A East contest in the championship round. They'll play the winner of that at 3 p.m. at the Casper Event Center. So they'll be on the same side of the bracket as number 2 from the West. That's either Worland or Pinedale. And those teams are warming up right now to take on each other in about a half hour. Worland and Pinedale will close out the 3A West Regional Tournament of 2019. Run you through some stats now. As first for Mountain View, 7 kills and an ace from Allie Rinker. Haley Stevens finished with 7 kills, and Olivia Meeks had 6 kills and 1 block. Kylie Dellinger, 4 kills in the contest, 1 kill, 1 block from Ashley Timms, 2 kills from Camry Hutchings, and 2 aces. Emily Bugas had an ace, Casey Bugas had 3, and Allie Rinker, as we mentioned, with the 1 ace. Abby Renner led the way for Lander with 18 kills, followed closely by Demi Stauffenberg after a 9-kill third set with 14. 1 kill from Emma Getz and 4 blocks from Emma Crane. Emma Getz had a block as well. 3 aces from Jaden Rowan, 3 from Emma Gist, 1 from Abby Renner, and Whitney Hansen with 1 to set up match point number 1 in the third set. That will do it for us, as I'm caught up on everything that we needed to get in for the day. That's the regional tournament from the Bridger Valley side. We'll be back on Thursday at 3 p.m., probably about 2:40 for pregame coverage, leading you up to the first contest at state of the 3A side, as they'll have all 1A through 4A on the courts on Thursday. Mountain View against either Rollins or Douglas. Lyman was eliminated earlier today in a 5-setter by Mountain View. And I think Mountain View was probably pretty spent after that match, as it looked like they didn't have too much energy left, especially when the home crowd behind Lander, and as they got their swings going, and especially after that second set, Mountain View looked like a team that was ready to probably just get a little bit of rest, as just getting into state was exhausting enough. But they'll be back next week at the event center as the 4 seed against either Rollins or Douglas. Until then, we'll see you later. I'm Jake Hibbard. We got volleyball on Thursday at 3 o'clock, football I think probably at 1 o'clock from Mountain View, and then maybe some more volleyball on Saturday. We'll see about that. Till then, thank you for listening. This has been First Bank Presentation on MyLocalRadio.com.
The proceeding has been a wholly owned production of MyLocalRadio.com and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Old West Media. Today's executive producer is Val Cook. We appreciate you tuning in to this MyLocalRadio.com exclusive of Mountain View Buffaloes Athletics. We would like to take a moment to thank all of our sponsors and partners who make this all possible. And of course, thank you for tuning in. Check out our website for more information about future Mountain View broadcasts, or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the games. Until next time, go Buffs!